So now you get a sense of what layers are, and how within a piece of music that sounds so cohesive, there's so many different things. And when I play with this piece of music like I did now, soloing and playing and mixing and all that, you get so many different vibes, so many different atmospheres, so many different levels of energy within the same piece of music. And this is the key to creating all of these effects that I'm going to tell you about. The ability to go one step earlier to what we usually are used to. Usually we're used to a piece of music that plays on a CD or MP3, one piece of music that is ready. I wanted to take a step back and go to the one step before the left as I produce music in the studio and get those layers to work instead of mixing them all together and delivering them as a song as we know it. Okay? When I do this thing and I use those layers, the distribution of those layers in the space is the key to getting all of these effects that I'm talking about. Now, David said in the beginning that, and I mentioned you too, the project that is for the Plaza Hotel. Let me show you a little bit of a clip about the Plaza Hotel and how it works there. Of course, I think that you understand by now that the music as it plays there can only play there. So what we're going to hear here is some kind of a simulation. Check it out. We're going now to listen to the big band set that is distributed in this lobby, exactly the way the guests experiences it when they come in through this main entrance. As you walk into the lobby, intimate settings, intimate music, and then it opens right up. Just a few steps and you're in the lobby with the full music and the full design. The cool thing about it is that the music is embedded in the architecture of the building. You can't hear this mix anywhere else except in that room. You have different instruments coming from each speaker. So you may have one trumpet coming from here, the other one from here, the other one from here, the saxophones in the front, the trombones on the left side. So everywhere we're walking in the middle, we're actually in the middle of all these instruments. These are the subwoofers down here. So these were the bass is coming out. Right now, the soloist is walking on the ceiling above us, and she's walking all the way to the side as she's playing the solo. When you're in the lobby, you're getting all these phenomenal spatial images and all these cool things, but in addition to that, when you go to adjacent areas, you get a different manifestation of the music. So as we walk, we get a different arrangement of the music, this time with more strings, very lush, kind of a Sinatra ballad style. Right now, we're crossing the border between two rooms and we're hearing the other. It's a different music, but it's the same tune. All of a sudden, it's more relaxed, more intimate, more pleasant, more, you name it. But since it's the same tune, you don't feel like you went into a different room. And as we continue walking, we're going to a third arrangement of the music. This is the most intimate manifestation of the music. Right here, it's kind of a chamber jazz ensemble. It's like a trio. And that's the experience of walking through the spaces. The big band portion of the job is played at the lobby. That's number one. Number two, the electronica is at the bar. The bar is on the second floor. There is a lower level where we are now, and then when we go upstairs, there is a higher level. Basically what's happening with electronic music, if you're sitting at the bar or if you're sitting in this little, seat by the railing or if you're sitting in any other space, you hear the music a bit different.
I was walking from the restroom, and as you head in, the music gets more intense and more elements kind of flood in, and the lights are low and it's interestingly lit, so it kind of just makes this kind of surreal kind of experience to grab a drink, not like your conventional bar.
We're hearing a lot of the percussion elements from here. Guitar is coming from there. The furthest we go in this space.
It's subtle and you don't necessarily know without traveling around the room, but once you do travel around the room, you can experience a setting in a richer way.
So, this is the theory behind it. You can't really, what we hear here is just stereo as usual, but this is the theory around it. What I want to do now, and this is the first time I do it, is create some kind of a basic setup of sonic band experience in this room right now. So if you look around, you see you have 8 speakers in the room. Check it out. Behind there, we have 3 speakers, even though the middle one right there is missing. We have some technical problems, so we're missing the speaker there. But we have 3 in here, you see? And then we have 2 on the sides. Now what we're going to do here now is route music instead of through the speakers of the LA Times Auditorium. We're going to go to this system here and see what happens. This is the first time I do it because we had classes here and technical problems and all that. I listened to it 10 seconds before I stepped in. So this is going to be a live revelation. Check it out. Except for from you guys checking out what's going on, I want to try to see if you can together figure out little changes between different arrangements I'm going to play for you to learn what works better. If something that is more setting that is very extreme works better, or something is more mellow, if something is more loud, something that has a lot of movement, or maybe more static. We're going to go through all these things now. Okay, for this first one, I'm not going to say too many things. Just use the graphics to see when there is a motion. You see it with the colors here. I mean, it's very aesthetically comfortable to see. So we're going to see that in the beginning, we have kind of a static situation, and then it starts moving around. Okay, these are the 3 demonstrations. Anybody has questions or anything, insights? Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to the beginning and end thing, the linear thing. So here is that piece of music that we talked about before. So we just experienced the fact that music has different layers, distribution of layers. This is the music architecture that applies to the vertical. Now let's talk about music architecture that applies to the horizontal. This piece of music is made out of little chunks, little blocks. When you play them together in sequence, one after the other, on the timeline, you get the full song. So the first block may take you the first 5 seconds, or 10 seconds, or 13 seconds, or 12.3 seconds, or whatnot, and then you go to the next one. I call these blocks. So we had the layers on the vertically, and now we also have the blocks horizontally, which brings us to this wonderful image. And this image of blocks and layers is the gateway to a wealth of combinations and mixes and arrangements and all kind of things that we can do with music. And I want to show you what I mean.